Time now for another vlog. And to wrap up July 2021, we're taken to the skies in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's a game that Riley and I have been enjoying very much. And I think you're going to be doing some more Flight Sim over on your channel, right?
Definitely. Probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Nice.
We'll see.
Yeah. But right now, Riley's actually flying. I'm just the co-pilot for this trip. And we're in Los Angeles. Looks a little different than Los Santos. So that's another thing that's amazing about this game is how realistic it is. I mean, it's basically the entire world. And I think it's as close right now to the entire world in a video game as you can get. And it looks amazing on the Xbox Series X. So a lot has happened this month in July, just like every month. And if you want to check out previous vlogs that we have done, go to the vlogs channel and the playlist is there. What we usually do is at the end of the month, we talk about everything that's transpired in the month, the good stuff, the bad stuff, interesting stuff, etc. So if you want to check out more of my vlogs, some of them have Riley in it. The older ones, a little different. Feel free to do so over on the vlogs channel. So what we got, let me go ahead and talk about briefly the things we'll talk about during the vlog. So first off, I'll tell you all about jury duty because I just finished up jury duty Friday. That's why over on the gaming channel, I kind of went on hiatus for a week. But there's things I can't talk about, but there's things I am at liberty to discuss, which we will. I will share my thoughts about Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 1. And see Space Jam New Legacy. Riley and I watched that a few weeks ago. Riley finally got me to watch Beastars seasons 1 and 2 because she was really excited about season 2. So in order to get me into season 2, we had to watch season 1, which you've watched, what, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Beastars in a little bit. We're also watching Knight Rider. We're in the middle of season 2 of Knight Rider. And we'll also, of course, touch on our opinions regarding the updates to GTA Online, Reddit Online. That happened earlier in the month. And we'll even talk some more about Flight Sim. We definitely will. And Olympics, so really not much I can say about the Olympics. It's happening right now in Tokyo, even though it's the 2020 Olympics. Obviously, it's 2021. But because of the bug last year, yeah, the Olympics got delayed. I used to really care about the Olympics, but truth is not as much as I once did. And it's very hot, humid, miserable summer. What else is new? So some of that we may not cover because I've just covered it literally right now. But the more important stuff, let's go ahead and dive into. Some of you have been curious about jury duty because I was summoned to jury duty about a month ago. They sent me like a form to fill out. They subpoenaed me. I had to fill it out. I had to mail it back to the court. And then this past week was my time to serve. So in case you're not in the United States, this is the way our jurisdiction justice system works. It's trial by jury. In other words, citizens are randomly selected, adults, in order to serve on juries, whether it's a civil case or a criminal case. All I can really say is the case I was involved in was a criminal case. It was a robbery, kidnapping. So I got called in, and along with everybody else, first off, it's the selection process. I showed up at the courthouse about 9:30 in the morning, and we waited for about 2 hours, and then they finally called us into the courtroom, the selectees, because you start off as a selectee, and the prosecution and the defense attorneys ask us questions. They ask us each questions about our opinions about this and that. And then after they ask us questions, that went for another 2 hours. Then we went back into another room, the same one we were in the waiting room. Let's just call it a waiting room. And we waited an additional hour or so. And then they called us back into that room, well, the courtroom. So they called us into the courtroom again. And then they decided which of us were going to be jurors. And spoiler alert, I ended up being one of the jurors selected. Now, this was actually a 2-day process. They had some selectees that came in on Monday. And so they selected, I think, 10 of the 14 jurors on Monday. And then the other 4, they selected Tuesday, which one of them was me. Now, I was not a regular. I was an alternative. So an alternate juror is still a juror, but at the end of the day, once the prosecution closes and the defense closes with their final arguments, the judge will go over the instructions, what you can do, what you cannot do, what you're basically delegating on, deliberating, and the verdicts you're going to be giving regarding the crimes, the charges against the defendant in the case. And if there happens to be like full 12 regular jurors, those 12 go and deliberate. The alternates get dismissed by the judge and they get to go home. Basically, the alternates are like backup quarterbacks. We're there, we're on the sidelines, we see everything happening, but at the end of the day, if we're not called in because, say, something happens to one of the 12 regular jurors, like they get sick or some family issue occurs, you get the idea, then we just remain as alternates, and we don't get to go in at the very end of the trial to deliberate and cast a verdict of guilty or not guilty. We simply just get thanks for our service by the judge, and then we get dismissed, and that's exactly what happened Friday afternoon. It was an interesting process. It's unfortunate that a lot of people in my country dread being called to jury duty. I feel like it's an obligation of citizens in the United States. And yeah, it is an inconvenience for those of us that work or have a life and have family and school, etc., because you're putting aside all that in order to go sit in a courtroom for who knows how many hours or how many days in order to hear the prosecution make their case, call up their witnesses, and then the defense do the same thing, and then, of course, the verdict that you're going to have to cast upon the accused, the defendant. And you literally are putting somebody's life in your hand. You're being asked by the judge, you're being asked by the prosecution, the defense, the court system to weigh whether or not the accused is going to be punished. Is the accused guilty or not guilty? And that, at the end of the day, is up to the juror. So what the prosecution does is they present their case, why they believe the accused is guilty. The defense will do their best, depending on the circumstances, to try to convince the jury that this individual, the accused, the defense, is not guilty, and then the jury has to go decide that, with obviously the judge presiding. You know, the judge is impartial, but he is obviously the authority, or he or she, and they just preside over the trial. But they're the ones that give you the instruction about the charges. If you don't think that they're guilty of, say, degree 1, you can go like 2nd degree, 3rd degree, or attempted. So it is very interesting, the process, but I actually enjoyed it for the most part. And it was a heavy burden because there was discussion that we had in the jury room while we waited for a trial a few days. And because the silence, you know, after a while you're just sitting there and somebody just decides, hey, you know, let's just talk about it. Let's just, because everybody has that on their mind. And for, you know, the past few days, that's what we've been doing, patiently sitting in the courtroom, listening to the arguments and the witnesses. And even though that technically wasn't deliberating because the trial was still ongoing, you know, it still gave us an opportunity to, you know, throw in our opinion about the situation regarding the trial at the moment. You know, the facts, you know, because that's what it really comes down to. It's the facts. The facts presented by the prosecution, the facts presented by the defense. And, I mean, obviously there's other things that come up, you know, our opinions, speculation, but a lot of that really doesn't matter when it comes to the final outcome. You have to stick with the facts, and that's exactly what we would do. Be like, okay, well, what can we prove in this case? What is the evidence here to either condemn or to go the other way with it and say, okay, well, it goes this way. The, you know, accused is guilty, but maybe the evidence doesn't hold up in our opinion, and then you decide to cast a not guilty verdict or a lesser charge upon the accused. So the one thing I did not get to do was be in there for the final deliberation with the 12 regular jurors, and I did not cast the verdict. So I guess you could say it was kind of a weight off my shoulders, even though I was willing to go the distance on that one. But at the same time, part of me is grateful that I didn't have to be one of the 12 that made that decision. And regarding anything else around the case, obviously I can't say anything else because, you know, it's still an ongoing legal matter. And, you know, the defendant, obviously, in the United States has a right to defend themselves. They have a right to a trial by jury. Whether or not they end up being guilty or not guilty, That doesn't matter. What matters is we have a system. Even though it's not perfect, I do feel like the justice system in the United States is one of the best in the world, and it's come a long ways in the past few decades. And I gotta say this about my fellow jurors. I really enjoyed getting to know them. As you know, we didn't really talk as much, but we did, have a few conversations back and forth. And for the most part, I felt like we had a really good team of jurors from many different walks of life. And I felt like we were having some really good discussions about, the evidence and everything else. And I feel like whatever verdict the jury decided upon, the 12 regulars, after myself and the other alternate was dismissed by the judge, I feel confident that they ultimately weighed the evidence and they made the correct decision. The truth is, I haven't looked to see the outcome. I'm sure it's in the news by now, in my news in the local area. But at the same time, I'll get around to it eventually. It's one of those things I feel like most American citizens should have to go through in their life at least once. It's a rite of passage, in my opinion. I also feel like it's a moral civic duty, and I really do wish that more people would not try to get out of jury duty when you are called to serve. But at the same time, I understand, because some people have health issues, they're not able to serve. People have, maybe single parents, they have a difficult time finding somebody to take care of the kids while they're serving, or they're just working multiple jobs, or they're trying to go through college. There's a variety of reasons why legitimately it's difficult for some people to actually take the time to go and do jury duty. Now, Hikari was asking in Discord, were we going to get paid? I do get paid. It won't be that much, but that wasn't the point. The point was to do my civic duty. And for some of you that wonder, well, why don't you just not go? Well, you kind of have no choice. Since this is part of our system in the United States, when you are subpoenaed by the court to serve as a juror, you have to show up. The truth is, most of the people that show up, they don't have to serve as on jury. They're just selectees, because the majority of people that showed up for both Monday and Tuesday, they were dismissed by the judge because ultimately the defense, the prosecution, or both decided not to go with those selectees. They only had to go with 14 out of, I would say, let's just say 40 or 50 people overall were called in over the 2-day period, and only 14 of us were chosen. So just because you're called for jury duty doesn't mean you're going to end up sitting on a jury. You could very well be dismissed. And other people were wondering, well, GB, were you trying to get out of it? No, I wasn't. I was open and honest about any questions that were asked of me. And I decided, a month ago, that no matter what, I would accept whatever happened. If I was to be dismissed, then I would be dismissed and I would accept that. If I was to somehow be selected to be on a trial, then that's just the way it went. And at first, I got to admit something. When I was selected as an alternate, I was low-key a little upset. I'm like, you mean I get to be a backup quarterback? It's like you're getting picked for a team like back when you're a kid. Like you have two people, like the prosecutor, the defense attorney. Now, you're not representing either one. You're representing the facts and the court system and the process. But you feel like you're a kid again, and you have these two people picking out players to be on their team. And then you get picked, but you're being picked as a backup or whatnot. But anyways, that's a terrible comparison. Terrible. So just ignore what I just said. Anyways, it was an interesting experience, very humbling. It's something I felt like that eventually I would have to do if I lived long enough, further into my adult life as I've made it this far. Hopefully I'll make it a little bit further. And who knows, maybe I'll serve again. Another fun fact is, since I have served my community and done my public service, I do not have to be a juror for at least 24 more months. So they have to wait at least 2 more years before they put me back into the pool, the lottery, if you will. And then eventually I might be randomly called back up to serve once more as a juror. And something, I would do it. If I was called up to do it, of course I would have no choice legally, because you're subpoenaed, but I would be more than happy to do it. There are things that I didn't enjoy, like the waiting, just sitting there. And there's plenty of that, just sitting there doing nothing. But at the same time, I actually enjoyed it. I really, really did. And it's just one of those things that make you sit back and ask the question, like, if our legal system was different, instead of a trial by jury where, it was, the citizens, the peers of the alleged and the defendant that were randomly called to serve. If we had like a professional juror system, that's something I might be interested in doing, but we don't have that. And there's debate about us, and I read over this the past few days about whether or not we should actually have a professional jury system because, the judge, he has a salary, he's paid to be a judge, the attorneys are paid to be attorneys, the clerk's paid to be a clerk, the court reporter, which types everything up throughout the trial, the sheriff's deputy that serves as the bailiff, they're obviously serving out careers and being paid to do what they do. So some people have thought, well, since a lot of people don't want to be jurors, what about for those that want to be jurors that actually do a good job weighing the evidence? Why not make it a professional thing? But there's obviously arguments back and forth. And the truth is, constitutionally, oh, sorry, I bumped into her. You okay?
Okay.
Okay. I nearly sent us to our doom because she's the one flying. But anyways, I don't know. I mean, as much as I didn't have a problem being a juror, and I feel like it's something that I could do. I could sit there, I could weigh the evidence, I could listen to, the witnesses and look at the evidence for, against, and in the end, be impartial and just simply go by the facts. There definitely are people that don't really have it in them to do that. Whether it's an attention issue or the fact that it's just not for them. Because we all have different interests and likes and dislikes. And the truth is, I grew up watching Law and Order and a lot of court shows and movies. And I've always been interested in the legal system, the justice system. So that probably is what made it a little bit more interesting for me personally. But that may not be the case for everybody else. But my opinion is, if you are ever called to serve and you're able to do so without any like health issues or any other problems, I highly recommend you do it because it's just a way to give back to the community, to serve your public. And at the same time, it is definitely a life experience worth having, even if it's just once, even if you're just a selectee. And that's as far as it goes for you. I definitely would advise against not showing up. If you don't show up, you can get in trouble. I believe you can be arrested for not showing up. I think the judge will throw out a warrant for you. So if you don't want any legal trouble, yeah, I suggest if you're ever called to serve, serve. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so let's move on to some other topics. So let's talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy. You want to talk about that?
Sure. Let's go talk about it.
Okay, so first off, obviously we both love the original Space Jam with Michael Jordan. I think it's a classic.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah. Plus, back in the day, I used to actually like basketball back in the 90s, and Michael Jordan, was the king back then with Scottie Pippen, along with, Shaq and Hakeem Olajuwon of the Rockets. I love the Rockets, by the way, from the time of Hakeem Olajuwon. Then, of course, the Spurs with David Robinson, Tim Duncan. Back then, when I really, really enjoyed watching basketball, the Space Jam movie was interesting. I would say it's not the greatest movie of all time, but it still had something going for it. And Michael Jordan always had some charm to him, and I liked it. It was a great movie. I would say it's like when it comes to like live action animation movies, where you're trying to combine two of them, I think Who Framed Roger Rabbit's probably still better. But at the same time, Space Jam, I would say pretty good too. So as some of you know, they decided to do a sequel, or a spiritual sequel to Space Jam, called Space Jam: New Legacy, this time around with LeBron James. And there's some differences, there's some similarities, and overall, I would say that the original Space Jam is superior, but I was expecting Space Jam: New Legacy to be worse than it was. It's far from perfect. It has its issues. It's definitely slow to start. But at the same time, by the time I was done watching it, I didn't hate it.
No, it wasn't hateable, but it definitely wasn't as good.
No.
It's just inferior. It's just I don't know how it is. I think it's the story, the way it's just set up at the beginning, and how you can find so many flaws. But if you just want to watch it just for the sake of watching it, it's just entertaining without having to put too much thought into it.
Yeah.
Like, it's enjoyable. It's just that if you're like to nitpick a bunch of things here and there, you can find a bunch of flaws.
Yeah, you're going to have a bad time. But if you go in it just for the sake of entertainment and just for one of those typical like popcorn munching movies.
Yeah, like consume product. Here you go.
Yeah, basically. I've seen way worse movies. I know some people say this is the worst movie of all time. I highly disagree. One thing I do like about it is the fact that it does have like this arc as LeBron James is playing a father figure, and ultimately he goes from not being the best dad when it comes to understanding that one of his sons wants to be something else other than a basketball player, to in the end he does, LeBron James does have a decent story arc of coming to realize that, not everybody's going to be a basketball star, and that everyone has to find their own path, including his own sons. So that's one thing I did like about it, because at first he's really trying to, without too much spoilers, just light spoilers, he was really like in the movie, like his movie kids. I'm sure that they're different than real life kids. But in the movie, he's very hard on his kids because he wants his kids to succeed just like he did. But the difference is, he became a legendary basketball player. But just because he's a legendary basketball player doesn't mean his children are meant to be.
You're right.
And it all starts off when he's a kid, and one of his friends gives him a Game Boy so he could play a Looney Tunes game, because it heavily like states that he's a Looney Tunes fan when he's a child, because he has a backpack that has Looney Tunes on it, and he's playing the Game Boy with the Looney Tunes game. I forgot which it was, a Bugs Bunny game, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah, but because he was playing the Game Boy and the Looney Tunes, apparently he lost the game.
Yeah, he wasn't focused.
Yeah, and so he kind of low-key blamed video games. And he threw away a perfectly good Game Boy.
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
You know how much those are going for nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, if he would just put that away somewhere, like in his room, in a shoebox, and just sold it years later. I mean, I get it. LeBron's like billionaire
Now,
so
yeah.
But at the same time, it would be of value, It would
Right.
be, especially in good
You
condition.
can save it in for memories too. It's like, remember when I actually lost this game, and it was because of this. Now I rebuilt my life.
Yeah.
This doesn't affect me anymore, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe he would teach it to his kid, or
Yeah.
it's like this is what I used to have back in the day, and look at this. It didn't affect me because I left it. I began a new life of basketball. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, no, Dad, I want to be like this. I want to have the Game Boy. I'm a programmer. I'm this and that. And it's like, something. But the Game Boy just threw it away. It's just a prop.
Yeah, pretty much. But, I mean, there were funny moments. Overall, nowhere near as good as the original Space Jam.
Yeah, no.
And one of your biggest complaints was the lack of the theme.
Yeah, well, where was the Space Jam theme? It's nowhere to be seen. Not even a small remix or...
I think there is... I think they allude to a theme in, like, one of the trailers.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the main...
In the movie itself,
it's
yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
It's like, you have a Space Jam theme and you're not going to use it? It's like, come on. That's probably the biggest flaw. And...
Well, it definitely sets the movie off to a bad start.
Yeah, and they have, like, this hip-hop shitty music. And, yeah, I mean, it's not as good. It's shit. It's really shit. They should have just bought the Space Jam theme again. Just brought back.
Yeah,
not even for the ending credits. It's not even there. It's
Yeah.
just another hip-hop lame-ass song.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these typical modern-day corporatized hip-hop trash. Like, older hip-hop music was way better. Of course, most older music is way better before, the corporations came in and they dictate what songs are written. And a lot of it's not really from the heart anymore. It's just like you were talking about, consumed product, But it's definitely nowhere near as good as, say, old school hip hop.
Yeah, no.
Or old school rock or any other, like, I mean, I know I'm sounding like I'm on my rocking chair right now whining about new music, but in my opinion, most new music sucks.
Right.
But
So, what do you think is better in terms of plot? Like they needed
Space Jam plot is way better.
like the original one? They're being conquered and the Looney Tunes need Michael Jordan?
Yeah, it's not just that. It's also the fact that Michael Jordan was going through a kind of a change in his life. He had peaked in basketball. He'd been there, done that, got his champions, got his rings. And now he was, his dad died. And he did die in real life, so that was also tragic. So real life reflected the movie. And, he was trying to, do the baseball thing, So he ended up doing some, like, lower league baseball. And obviously, it wasn't going as well as his basketball career. And ironically, he started off as a baseball player, and then eventually became a basketball player. And then that's when he became, legendary at, I think, North Carolina. Then, of course, the Chicago Bulls. But it was a good thing because it showed that he was going through this change in his life, that he was trying to, find a new direction to go post his success with the Chicago Bulls. And it happened at the time with, the Looney Tunes needing his help. It was simple. It wasn't overly complicated. You had the Monstars coming in.
Yeah, Monstars, yeah.
Yeah, the Monstars were trying to take over, Toontown or the Looney Tunes realm?
Yeah, I don't know. Toon World.
Yeah, Toon World. It's been a while since I've watched the original Space Jam. And so Michael Jordan goes in, with Bugs and Daffy and all the others. And then I think that's when they introduced Lola Bunny.
Yeah, I remember the entire movie, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's funny because she literally just dunks on Bugs just once and then walks away. It's like, yeah, I'm good. That's it. And then just Bugs turns into a plank, just telling that he has a boner for her.
Oh yeah, he starts simping for Lola.
Yeah.
Well, in both the original and the new movie, some things don't change.
Right. Didn't they have this whole thing of Lola in the new movie that she wasn't gonna be as sexy or something? I don't know.
Yeah, because she's a lot curvier in Space Jam.
She looked the same to me. I didn't.
She's not as curvy. I've seen when we used to do GB Cast before I retired that. Yeah, I mean we did some side by side comparisons. People were getting outraged about it, but at the end of the day, it's a cartoon character, and I mean you're gonna go crazy with the way a cartoon character looks. In one version of her, she's all curvy. Then the next version, she's not as curvy, and she happens to be a rabbit. Okay, I mean we all have different interests and tastes.
Yeah, some of you like that.
I'm not judging, but I think that's a good segue from Space Jam: New Legacy, which, as we've said, wasn't great. The original's way better. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. It definitely had its moments. I had a few chuckles here and there. There was a lot of product, a lot of
references.
Yeah, a lot of references, a lot of quote-unquote cameos, and a lot of those were just. It just felt like Warner Brothers, just like, oh hey, look at all of our IPs. Look, we have this. I mean, it's all in the background, but it feels like too much crap's happening in the background. It feels like the stakes keep changing, and it's too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be that complicated to be a good movie, and that's the problem. At its heart, it should have just been. I mean, it was about a father and son, but then they were also continuing to throw more
stuff into it.
Yeah, and I like Don Cheadle as an actor. I didn't really care for him as
Algorithm.
Yeah, he had his moments too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a great actor, and what he was given to work with, he did great. But the villain himself, I didn't care for.
Yeah, it was dumb, and it was also dumb how the basketball game worked, of how you had to do maybe 500 backflips and then you got maybe 1,000 points. That was dumb.
It was dumb. At the same time, I kind of understood it because it was, without going into too much spoilers, LeBron's youngest son. He has 3 kids. He has a youngest daughter. Then he has an older son.
Yeah.
And then his middle son is gifted. He's a prodigy. He's a gamer, and not only that, he's become an indie programmer in his own right. He's been making this video game, but a lot of that's kind of ridiculous as well. But at the same time, I get the idea of video game rules being different than real life rules. Like, for example, real life basketball, you got 2-point shots, you got 3-point shots, you got penalty shots, you got the basic rules. But for example, NBA Jam, for example, there was crazy stuff you could do in NBA Jam. And that was the first thing I thought about whenever they first show off his video game. I'm like, okay, well, NBA Jam was way better. But I get that. I get the whole style points and that nonsense because it's a video game. Of course, they're going to have ridiculous things in a video game. So, in a way, that did kind of sort of make sense. It just feels like a lot of the other things kind of missed the mark, except for there was a few moments where they managed to hit the dartboard. And maybe once, maybe twice it came close to a bullseye, but a lot of it was definitely nowhere near the dartboard.
Yeah, no. You just went with random ideas. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like it. How it works, the whole system.
Yeah.
Because in the original, it was just I
Yeah.
think what did they do? They cheated. Like they started punching and pushing him.
Yeah.
And then just scoring and dunking and everything.
Yeah, the Monstars, yeah, they were kind of cutting corners. And
Yeah, they were literally abusing the system. Like it wasn't as cheating, like like do a backflip and then you get like 500 points.
Yeah.
No, they started punching, pushing,
yeah.
and just stepping on people, and then just scoring normally. I guess I like that system better than the whole video game, a 1,000-point rule. It's like that was dumb. It was dumb.
Yeah, I think they kind of overdid it. And then, yeah, I think that anything else we might say about it is definitely going beyond spoilers because we have kind of sort of spoiled it a little too much. My advice is if you already have HBO Max, watch it. If you're looking for like a popcorn pleaser, just to go sit in a movie theater for about 2 hours, just get your mind off things and watch something silly. And maybe see a big Chungus reference, Kane.
Yeah, there's one.
That I think that made the movie for Kane.
Yeah, it's like here you go, Kane. Just go here.
Enjoy your big Chungus reference. Oh, and Slink Johnson has a cameo.
Yeah, Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar from GTA 5, of course. We were sitting there watching that scene, and I'm like, "That's Lamar," and you're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's Slink Johnson." So, like for the short scene he's in, I thought it was good.
Yeah, that's alright.
It was good. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all I got to say about Space Jam: New Legacy.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's generous. I might give it maybe a 4, maybe a 5. And the voice acting, some of the voice acting for Bugs and the other characters at first took a minute for me to get used to. But by the time the movie was over, I guess I'd grown somewhat comfortable with the way they sounded because some of them do sound a little different than what I'm used to. But it was only like at first. I was like when I first heard Bugs, I'm like, that doesn't sound like Bugs. But by the time it's over, it doesn't really bother you as much as at the beginning.
It grows on you.
If you can get past that really slow start. But there's a lot of things in the movie that really don't make sense. But it's a movie. It's a guy that gets sent into the Wonder Serververse to play basketball with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I still think the plot's bad.
Yeah, but you just have to look at everything else besides the plot itself. It's not really meant to make sense. It's just, I guess you could say, good, silly fun. And there is a few fourth wall references I thought were interesting, but other than that, yeah. So from Space Jam to Beastars we go because like Lola, people complain about the way Lola looks now, and that makes sense to go from Lola to the characters of Beastars. And this is where I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let Riley explain to you all Beastars. So go ahead.
Alright, so it's basically a furry show. That's the best way to explain it. It's I don't know how do you even start with this?
It's not I wouldn't say it's necessary. I mean, it's obviously a show furries like. And by the way, to each their own, as I always say. Whatever floats your boat. I'm a very open-minded person. So we're not targeting anybody. We're not singling anybody out. But at the same time, I don't know. I think the idea, from what I've watched in the first 2 seasons, is the premise of the world of Beastars revolving around what if herbivores and carnivores were quote-unquote sentient and they lived in a society.
Right, yeah, definitely. It's basically Zootopia, rated R.
Yeah.
And I like this show. It's amazing. I like it. Like if you just go with how the whole furry thing, the show itself, like it's good. Like the antagonists are pretty nice. The voice acting is okay. Like music's alright. It looks good. It's 3D animation, so that might throw some people off. But yeah, it's a good style for the show. It definitely works. And let's see, like people die. So yeah, blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Why?
It's an interesting show because it's set around some characters in a high school.
It starts that way.
Yeah, but I mean they're still in high school, but they eventually go off into the city, and you see what life is beyond in the city,
Right. Yeah. And it definitely does get interesting. Like it's because, like he said, it starts in high school, but it gets interesting once you get out of the high school and you go into the real world. Because it does start slow. It definitely does start slow. But once you get out there, it's like you have these gangsters, you have guns. What else? what is Gujing? I forgot his name. The panda.
Yeah, you have a panda, but we don't want to do too many spoilers. So the premise, basically, from my understanding, because I didn't read the manga.
Yeah. I want your impressions on it.
Manga anime, not really my thing, but like I said, I'm willing to give something a try. I feel like I really would have liked more lore building, like more background in the 2 seasons that are out now on Netflix. That's when we watched it on Netflix. I feel like I would like to know what led to their society being like it is, where somewhere along the lines they became civilized, I guess, the herbivores and the carnivores, and they have this like uneasy alliance. Like they live together in society, they go to school together, but at the same time, the carnivores are always looked down upon.
Yeah. Because
they're carnivores. And it seems like the carnivores have had to bend over backwards, like to acquiesce to the herbivores. I don't know how that happened. That's another problem I have, because you have carnivores. You think the carnivores would be... I mean, there's obviously herbivores in real life that are more powerful than carnivores. But on average, predators are usually, at the top of the food chain compared to herbivores. So it is fascinating from that point of view. And I really wish there weren't guns, though. But I get it in the manga. There's guns, there's cars, there's trains. And they all wear outfits and clothing. They talk like they're like us, but they're animals. The main character is a young wolf in his teens. And there's other characters, like a character that's a little rabbit. And there's a lot of other characters. Like, the other character that a lot of people like is a buck. He's
Louis.
Yeah, Louis. He's like the most popular character at school.
Right.
And so you have Legoshi. He's the wolf. He's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
So it is fascinating, that world. And maybe eventually they'll do more backstory to it. But at the same time, there's some things that have a manga anime vibe to it that...
Yeah, definitely.
That you're into, that I'm not as much into, that kind of makes me go like, what?
Yeah, well, that's just anime. It's just not just Beastars. It's just every anime.
I know.
It's just anime world as it is. Like, they act over dramatic, or they do something like, what?
Yeah.
Like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not really my thing, to be honest. But like I always say, we all have different interests. We all have different likes. We all have different dislikes. So any of you that happens to like Beastars, anime, manga, that's totally fine by me. And if they do a season 3, I'm sure she'll make me watch it.
Yeah. Honestly, go check it out. It's all right. It's not a bad show. It's definitely not better than Invincible.
Yeah, Invincible was really good for the most part.
Right. But it's up there. It's a good show. Maybe like a...
It's different. There's a lot of character development, which I do enjoy. There's some conflict. There's some things going on that eventually get answered. There's some fight scenes that occur.
Yeah.
But there's some action in it, but a lot of it's just character development and, like plots and intertwining and how these characters interact with each other. And some of it's very weird.
Yeah, it does get weird from time to time, but honestly, go give it a shot. If GB gave it a shot, like he gave Fortnite a shot, he'd give this a shot.
I wouldn't.
He would.
Why did you even throw Fortnite into this conversation?
Because. Like,
he only did that because you wanted to play Air Royale, okay? And you needed a gunner, and no one else would do it, and I said I would do it.
Anyways.
Does Air Royale even count as Fortnite?
Maybe. But yeah. If GB did that and he watched Beastars, I'm pretty sure you can watch or do anything.
I would say just watch it if it's something that interests you from what we've talked about. And you're bored enough and you're willing to give it a try. It's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix... then go check out Beastars. One thing I will say is at least it's something different. It's not the same IP, the same property that's been like rebooted over and over again and changed to the point where it's almost unrecognizable from what it originally was. So that I do appreciate when it comes to Beastars. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. I like different.
Yeah. So one show I want to talk about real quick. I'm not going to say a lot about it. Once again, trying not to spoil things. See, I've debated whether or not to start doing like TV movie reviews on the gaming channel. I know I've done it before on the vlogs channel a long time ago. And then I did it again over on the one of my other channels that I don't really make content for anymore. the political channel, as we call it. I have put that on hiatus once again. So I've always had this interest in maybe doing commentary content, video, like branching out. And I guess that's what I was trying to do with the GB cast, which ultimately I decided to retire. So it's always a struggle for me to try to come up with new content for the gaming channel, but then I have to remind myself it's a gaming channel, and that's the problem. Because I came from radio, and we're used to formats like rock radio, country radio, hip-hop. You get the idea. But I guess the vlogs allow me a place to give my opinion about something. So I'm going to talk about another Netflix show, Masters of the Universe Revelation. Now, in case you're curious, even though I'm not really into, let's say, manga, anime, I did grow up watching some animation. Like, for example, the real Ghostbusters, Transformers, as well as a few others, including He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which I thoroughly loved as a kid. And I actually enjoyed watching the reboot back in the 2000s. I thought the reboot was really good. I think that it being canceled was a shame, especially with how disappointing Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 1 was. So technically, it's going to be 10 episodes. Only 5 episodes are out right now. I think that was one of the first mistakes that was made because, who knows, maybe the next 5 episodes redeem Masters of the Universe Revelation in the eyes of He-Man Masters of the Universe fans. Then again, maybe it doesn't. Now, some information leaked out about a year ago that I think a channel called Clownfish TV covered, and then it pissed off Kevin Smith, who was the showrunner of Masters of the Universe Revelation. Now, a little backtrack here. When it comes to Kevin Smith, I used to be a huge Kevin Smith fan. From Clerks to Mallrats, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2. I happen to have a few Clerks movies. I even have a purple and yellow movies t-shirt. So I am a Kevin Smith fan. I used to enjoy watching his YouTube channel, his Fat Man on Batman show he used to do. I mean, I think he still does it. But after what I watched and experienced in the first 5 episodes of Masters of the Universe Revelation, I have lost faith in Kevin Smith. So I'm not going to go out outraging about it like some other content creators have, but I am disappointed with what I ended up watching. The first episode feels the most like He-Man and Masters of the Universe, and then basically it goes downhill from there, basically at the very end of the first episode. And Kevin Smith clearly lied. He said the show wasn't going to be about Teela, and that the focus was going to be He-Man. 2 lies right there. So he lied about that. He lied about Teela. Look, I love Teela. I think she was awesome in the original series. And she was a strong woman back then because they knew how to write women even back in the 80s. And they knew how to make them strong. But they think today that they know what they're doing. They think they know about diversity. They think they know about equality in like TV shows and movies today. Like they think they're the first ones to ever do it. And that's not true. And the reality is most of the time these so-called writers, they bungle the job. They just screw it up royally. They throw their agenda and their nonsense and their BS into our franchises, whether it's Star Wars or in this case Masters of the Universe, of course, like Doctor Who, for example. Bye Chris Chibnall and bye Jodie Whittaker. You two, in my opinion, will not be missed. But I feel like the damage has been done to Doctor Who. Anyways, back to Masters of the Universe. I thought that some of the voice acting was really good. The animation was great, so I will give props to Kevin Smith's team. The team that they had doing the animation. I forgot, was it Powerhouse, I think, that did the animation, I believe, for Masters of the Universe Revelation. So the animation was good. Music was all right. Some of the voice acting was decent. I love Mark Hamill, by the way. I think he's great as Luke Skywalker, legendary. He was great as Joker in Batman the Animated Series, as well as Superman Animated Series, Justice League. The problem I have with Mark Hamill in Masters of the Universe Revelation is he sounds like Joker. He doesn't sound like Skeletor. Skeletor sounds completely different than the Joker does. So why did Mark Hamill get cast as Skeletor? I do not understand. He's a great voice actor, but either he has a limitation when it comes to the voices he can do, which I press X to doubt because I've seen him do other voices, Like, I think he even voiced Grundy in Justice League. So he also voiced Solomon Grundy. And I've heard him do other voices in other video games and shows as well. Somebody encouraged him to basically just do his Joker voice as Skeletor. And that was one thing that annoyed me, was the fact that he sounded nothing like Skeletor. So even the voice actor they got for the 2000-something He-Man series, he was a different voice actor than the original Skeletor voice actor. He still sounded like Skeletor. Like, why didn't you just bring that guy back and have him voice Skeletor again? So that was an issue I had. And then the other voice acting question revolved around the main character, which was not Adam, by the way, not, He-Man. It was Teela. Like I said, I like Teela. But I don't like this version of Teela, especially the voice acting of Sarah Michelle Gellar. I know some of you loved her in Buffy. She was all right in Buffy, but she's not a very good voice actress. She was terrible as Teela. Absolutely terrible. And there's a lot of other things that happen in this 5-part, this 5-episode part 1 of Masters of the Universe Revelation. And what really made me mad is the fact that Kevin Smith said that it was going to be respectful to the fan base of He-Man Masters of the Universe, and it was going to be a sequel to He-Man Masters of the Universe. But in my opinion, it's not. And I think that's probably a good thing, because there's definitely differences between this version of Masters of the Universe and the original He-Man in the Masters of the Universe series. So there is differences. So pretty much I sat there after watching the 5 episodes. And by the way, each episode is like 20 minutes long. And that's all they could do is put out 5 episodes here. And then I think in 2022 they're going to put out another 5 episodes. Wow, that's a lot of work there. You really pushed yourself, and that's the best they could do is those 5 episodes we got. And I'll admit there's definitely moments here and there in those episodes, but overall, I was left kind of like disappointed. Not outraged, mind you, but the truth is I'm kind of numb to this bullshit anyways. All it's really done, in my opinion, is it's hurt the Masters of the Universe IP, which is bad for Mattel, especially since they obviously want to sell product, want to sell them action figures. And I think in the long run, it's going to hurt Kevin Smith, because there was a time when a lot of us considered him one of us, fellow fan of these products. Even though he's never been a Masters of the Universe fan. I mean, we've seen the receipts, Kevin Smith. We know you're not a Masters of the Universe fan, even though you claim to be. But your previous tweets and opinions about it, and like on YouTube, which can be found, paint a different picture entirely. So yeah, screw you, Kevin Smith. Like, I know he's working on Clerks 3. The truth is, I have no interest in watching Clerks 3 after what he did with Masters of the Universe. And I know it's not just his decision. There's 2 other people involved. There was a head of Netflix, and then there was also a head of Mattel. So it was kind of like a trifecta there, but he was at the top. So the buck stops with Kevin Smith, in my opinion. Who knows? Maybe the next 5 episodes of Masters of the Universe Revelation will turn things around. I press X to doubt. I don't have much faith. I'm not outraged about it because I consider it its own thing. I don't consider it connected at all with the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe franchise. I don't consider it connected with the 2000s He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series. So it's just its own thing. So it's going to be forgotten. And whether or not the next 5 episodes end up being good or bad remain to be seen. But by the time they do come out and say, I think 2022, will anyone really care? That's just how I feel about it. It's unfortunate because I do like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And it was never just about He-Man. It was about Teela. It was about Man of Arms. It was about all of them standing up against, Skeletor, Evil Lyn, and all the other minions of Snake Mountain. But at the same time, yeah, I would say for any He-Man Masters of the Universe fan, if you're thinking about watching Part 1 of Masters of the Universe Revelation, I would recommend you save that 2.5 hours of your life. Because that's it. It's basically just a 2.5 hour movie. Yay. Wow. Netflix is cheap because back in the 80s, they put out tons of episodes of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Tons of episodes. And they were way better, except for the animation. The animation was good. That's about it. I mean, some of the voice acting I was okay with, except for obviously Mark Hamill is Skeletor. I like Mark Hamill, but he's not Skeletor. He doesn't even try to be Skeletor. It's just Joker voice. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, nothing personally against her. It's just that she doesn't work as Teela. She's not a very good voice actress. There's way better voice actors and voice people out there that could have done a better job as Teela and Skeletor and some of the other characters, respectfully. But anyways, let us move on to Knight Rider. So, have you been enjoying your time with Michael Knight and Kit?
No. No, I don't like them.
What?
Honestly, I thought the show was better than I thought, but nah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good show. I like it. It's very cheesy.
Well, it's the 80s.
I think that's
Yeah.
the thing I like the most, how cheesy it is.
Yeah.
And how we're always making jokes of what they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. But yeah, I love Kit. Like, I think Kit's my favorite character in the series. Cause even though he's a computer, he just has so much personality. And he's a smartass, and
Yeah.
he's constantly also throwing jokes here and there.
Yeah.
It's not like over the top where he makes a joke on every single sentence,
Yeah.
which is good because you don't want him getting annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kid and Michael definitely do work. I love them both. The adventures they get on, their adventures they're on, they're really good, interesting. Again, cheesy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it overall. Devin's cool. April's cool. Bonnie's cool whenever she returns.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that back in the day pissed off a lot of Knight Rider fans. I was really young when it came out, and I only ended up becoming a Knight Rider fan many, many, many years later. But there was this controversy because in the first season, you have Michael Knight, you have Kit, you have Devin, who's the head of the Foundation, and then you had, I guess you could say, the brains, the mechanic, Bonnie. And at the end of the first season, the actress that played Bonnie got fired for reasons. And so they brought in a different actress to play a similar character called April. And there was a lot of fan outrage in season 2. And in fact, David Hasselhoff and Edward Mohair, who played Devin, they both wanted the actress to play Bonnie back. So there was like this campaign to get that actress back. And so in seasons 3 and 4, they brought back Bonnie. But I'm going to be honest, rewatching season 2, and season 1 episodes I thought overall have been better than season 2. There's been some decent season 2 episodes, though. But a lot of them we were kind of like, ugh, yeah. But I'm going to be honest, I like April.
Yeah, she's alright. I like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely does grow on you. She doesn't come as the annoying type.
No.
So she does have her charms here and there.
Yeah, I mean, Bonnie people obviously liked. I mean, there was one episode that I didn't really like about Bonnie, but it wasn't really her fault. It's what happens during an episode with, Helix, I think that was the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to spoil it, even though the show is like a bazillion years old.
You can spoil it.
Yeah, but anyways, that wasn't really her fault. But overall, I mean, if I had to pick between Bonnie and April, I think I'd probably pick April. I'm on Team April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say that because the majority of people, because I was looking like last night, like the majority of people are all about Bonnie.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Like, I'll watch season 3.
Yeah.
And see how Bonnie performs or what she does.
Yeah.
And then I'll comment on that again.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, like season 1 and then season 2 April, it's like, yeah, I prefer April. Yeah. I just wish they would have given like an explanation. It's like, oh, Bonnie had to go away.
Well, they do get, like, apparently they will give an explanation in season 3. But they don't explain what happens to April, so that's the problem. Like why can't we have both? Why can't we have Bonnie and April? I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Michael can just throw sex jokes everywhere.
Yeah, he could just throw sex jokes at though instead of 100% towards Bonnie or 100% towards April, he's having a 50-50
Right. Yeah, he's like the moody man of.
Yeah. Well, no, there's no need to insult the Hoff.
Hey, you didn't let me finish. He's like the moody man, but like 95% less annoying.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You just have to let me finish the sentence.
But even trying to do any sort of comparison with him and Moody Man, especially after the Tuners update to GT Online, no.
Hey, it's just sex jokes everywhere.
No.
Wow.
At least in the 80s, right? The flirting was a lot more tasteful.
That's true.
It was a lot more clever because the writing was better in the 80s. Even though there's definitely episodes in Knight Rider because they did like 20 episodes a season, so the writers are under pressure to get episodes out, and some of them miss their mark, and things are not always wrapped up like you would want them to be wrapped up in each episode. Still, there's a lot of passion, a lot of love in the episodes. and good dialogue between the main characters like Devin and Kit, Michael, as well as April, Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the love interests are cool, but it's like every week he finds himself a new love interest for the most part.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how many other Michael Knights are roaming around out there, or Michelle Knights.
Right. You know, new episode, new girl.
Well, I mean, that's technically I guess it was kind of like the premise of the reboot of Knight Rider, is that, you know, Mike Knight was Michael Knight's son. I don't remember exactly who the mom was, but the reboot didn't last very long. And that was one thing that annoyed me. I thought Val Kilmer was okay as that version of Kit. The original actor that voiced Kit was way better, in my opinion. But yeah, even though, look, for the record, I love Mustangs. You know, I had a 2005 Mustang GT, and GT Online, they have several vehicles that are basically Mustangs, but they're called Dominators, and I happen to have a few Dominators. In fact, the Dominator GTT was really cool looking. They have the Dominator ASP coming out
next week.
Yeah, which is based off the 90s, early 2000s Mustang that you like.
Yeah, that's the one I would like the most.
Yeah, 2005, the retro was my favorite though. But I don't see Kit as a Mustang.
Was he just Kit in the next one too? He just called Kit, like
yeah.
a Mustang?
Yeah, I think it was called. Was it still Knight Industries 2000, or was it 3000 by then, or was it something else? But it was, you know, Val Kilmer voiced that version of Kit in the reboot. It was kind of like a spiritual sequel, a loose spiritual sequel to the original Knight Rider series. Of course, after Knight Rider, you had Team Knight Rider. We're not even going to talk about that. There's also the Knight Rider 2000 movie, which we'll watch after we're done with all 4 seasons of Knight Rider, because it takes place after the events of the original Knight Rider show. And that was included with the DVD set of the first season, I believe. But anyways, like, yeah, Knight Rider's freaking awesome. I mean, it's cheesy. Of course, it's 80s. And there's definitely some moments where you just have a little cheese, a little cringe.
Right. Like the One Punch Man thing.
Or some of the stunts with Kit seems kind of obvious if you pay attention.
Right.
Like some of the driving, they try to make it look like at times Kit's driving by himself, but if you pay close attention, you could kind of tell.
Yeah, you can see the hands, or
well, especially in the first season, especially they got a little bit better with that in the second and third and fourth seasons, I think, with more time and practice, a few more tricks.
Yeah.
To try to, you know, give the illusion that Kit was driving itself.
Yeah, like especially like on the first episode or the movie or the
pilot. Yeah, the pilot. Yeah.
You can literally just see Kit and just being driven.
Yeah.
Like you can literally see the hands up. Yeah, here's my hands. Let me take them back out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see it. It's funny. But yeah. What else? Oh yeah, the last episode we watched of Nightmares One Day.
I liked Nightmares though.
No, but I love how the guy's like running away. It's like turns around. Oh shit, he's there.
Yeah.
Even though he was literally behind him. Like,
oh yeah, the villain of the episode. Yeah.
It's like oh no, he's there.
Yeah.
Or literally when they decided to like hit the wall when he literally just had to open just the sewer.
Yeah, open the sewer drain just to pull her out of the Yeah,
it's like come on.
Yeah, like that's all you had to do, Michael. You knew where she was. All you had to do was like drive over to the sewer drain and just lift it up, the crate, and then pull her out of it. So there are definitely plenty of moments like that, but it has a lot of heart to it.
Right.
And of course, the theme song is iconic.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely loved. I think Kid in that episode made me like Kid a lot more because he was very honest with Michael.
Yeah.
Like even with his flaws, it's like he likes Michael, and then he's like, oh, you have this awful taste of music, and you know, at least he didn't try to change him.
Yeah, and that was the difference between a lot of writing back then and today, is that writers back in the 80s, and even up to the 90s and maybe even early 2000s, knew how to write their characters. Like, a hero, like, whether it's Michael Knight or He-Man or Teela or anyone, like, they have flaws. They're not perfect. Like MacGyver, you know, he wasn't perfect. And, like, you know, like the Hoff, you know, say what you will about the Hoff, but Michael Knight wasn't perfect. You know, he had his own issues, but that's part of what made his character so interesting is the good qualities he had and some of the other ones as well. Now today he would be canceled from all the flirting.
Yeah, definitely. But honestly, I would just love to see. It will probably be trash, but I would love to see Knight Rider 2021 just to see if he would just get canceled in the first episode or something.
Probably. I don't know. I think the Hoff would always love to come back and try one more time.
Yeah.
But you'd have to bring back the Trans Am, and you'd have to. I think the voice actor that plays Kit, he was also in Boy Meets World, by the way. He played the principal in Boy Meets World. what's the actor's name? I keep forgetting his name. But what? Okay. But anyways, so I think that's about it with Kit. So what else is there to talk about? I mean, yeah, if you haven't watched Knight Rider, Knight Rider's awesome. And like, it doesn't get more iconic than the Trans Am. It's like, it's still a look that people love.
Right. All right, but yeah, like talking about cars, how about we head into the GTA update?
Okay, real quickly, we'll talk about it because this has gone on for like an hour already. Jeez, we're not even in San Francisco yet. Fly faster.
Well, maybe if you chose the Typhoon, we'll be there already.
I feel like having the Typhoon, because it's like way faster than the jets in GTA, would tear up the B-roll. So I feel like that'd be a bad idea for the B-roll, which is at 720, not 1080. So I do apologize for all of you like, GB, why is the B-roll at 7? Because it is, okay? It is. I mean, my videos on the gaming channel are 1080 now, but vlogs channel, sorry, 720 is the best we're going to do. But I feel like doing that in combination with how fast the Typhoon flies, which, by the way, costed $20 for Flight Sim.
$20.
Yeah, and I had to buy it twice because even though we're using the same console, the same Xbox Series X, we have separate. I created separate profile for Riley to use, so she'd have her own like Flight Sim account.
My own thing.
Yeah, her own thing. One thing we didn't realize was that our planes don't exactly go over to both accounts, even though it's the same game on the same platform.
Right, so we've learned the new lesson of every time that a new jet comes out, GB's going to buy it on my account.
Yeah, unless I really want it as well.
Yeah.
As long as she keeps playing Flight Sim, then I'm willing to do that.
I don't even know what I'm playing. Here you go.
Actually, I think we're almost to San Francisco because there's Santa Clara right there. So.
Yeah, but I don't think we can land there.
We'll make it to Alcatraz. Don't worry. But anyways, yeah. So the GTA Online update was better than we expected, except for the reputation bullshit.
And Moody Man is a Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could be a lot less annoying. It's just a prime example how well. The actress that plays Santa is a voice actress. She does an okay job. It's the writing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Whoever's writing the characters, for GT Online and Red Dead Online,
is a 12-year-old.
Yeah, they're no Dan Houser. No Dan Houser, because I don't think he wrote any of that stuff. Maybe at the very beginning for like the opening tutorial for GT Online with Lamar and stuff. But I think after that they handed it over to lesser writers at Rockstar. But, yeah, that's part of the problem. The other problem is Moody Man is a musician. He's an artist. And if you love his music, totally fine by me. But I just don't see him as a voice actor. Now, is there DJs that did a worse job, like reading their lines?
Yeah, like Dixon.
Yeah, and the characters, for the most part, from After Hours. But I get that. They're musicians. They're DJs. They're not voice actors. Moody Man, okay, we could say he does a little bit better job than they do. But at the same time, several of us would have preferred them bring back Lamar, for example.
Right. Yeah, Moody Man should have just seen a music locker, never to be seen ever again.
Yeah, because personally, I like Lamar. I like Slink Johnson. He's very entertaining. I love the fact how they actually went and they recreated the roast, when Lamar, that thing that became a big deal.
Yeah.
Even though the game has been out since 2013, it only was like this year that they did this whole. Everyone was doing a Franklin being roasted by Lamar.
Being roasted by everybody.
Yeah, being roasted by everybody. But I like how they went and they did the real life version of that. It was great. But yeah, Slink Johnson, they should have brought him back to be Lamar for this and had Sess as his girlfriend, and maybe their dynamic would be a little bit different. It'd probably be better for Sess if that was the case. But at the same time, yeah, that was annoying. And the reputation, I wish they would do something to make it easier to earn reputation. Maybe they will. It's just basically copy and paste arena points. But other than that, no, the cars were pretty good. I like the auto shop as well, and the contracts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I mean, besides the reputation.
Yeah.
I am Moody Man. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's just he's not a voice actor.
I know, but it's just so annoying. Like that one line, like I was watching like every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh baby, bring that tool. It's like that's the best line he says in my opinion, and it's still a sex joke.
Yeah. I think that there may have been some lines from Moody Man, but I think the writers or whoever's letting him record lines.
It's not a writer.
I think they were allowing him too many liberties, and they allowed him to throw out too many motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's probably the same guy that created the Overlook and the Oppressor Mark II.
Or whoever came up with the idea for Capital and Red Dead Online. By the way, if you want my reviews of Blood Money for Red Dead Online and her review and my review for Los Santos Tuners, check out our channels. You did one for Los Santos Tuners.
Yes. No Capital for me.
Yeah. And, yeah, I did reviews for both of those games. And overall, I hate to say it, but despite those issues we may have had with GTA Online, with the Tuners update, Tuners was definitely a better update than...
Blood Money.
Yeah, sadly. So, anyways, I think that's pretty much all I got to say about those updates. Anything else you want to say?
Not really.
Yeah. I think other than that, yeah, it's hot, humid, miserable in the south. What else is new? It's August, so it's going to probably be the hotter before the end of this month.
Yay.
So, yeah, August is almost here. July is almost over. And is it October yet? No. Damn it. But other than that, Flight Sim is awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, great game.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm actually getting a little bit bored because of the flying in this plane. Oh, if only we had a typhoon somewhere. Where is it?
Well, you're just going to have to go do a little palette cleansing later and just go hop in your Typhoon and fly around, and that'll work it out for you. But
thank you. No, but I've already been flying out for like I've been flying for an hour.
This is how real pilots do it. They fly for hours at a time.
Well, guess what?
That's why it's called Flight Sim.
I know, but I just want my Typhoon.
Well, you can go have your Typhoon later.
I want it now.
Okay, well, anyways. But, yeah, if you get a chance, check out Riley's channel. It's linked below in the description section. I think that's pretty much everything for the July 2021 vlog. Obviously, because of jury duty this past week, I decided just to take the last day of July off. At the very least, we wanted to record a vlog for you. Because, you know, it's a monthly thing I do. I mean, there's a few other monthly things I do on the gaming channel, but I decided not to worry about those. And I guess over on the gaming channel, if I'm up for it, I guess we'll kick off August 2021 with a stream. I don't know what we're going to play tomorrow on my channel. I don't know what Riley's going to do on her channel. She still hasn't decided whether she's going to stream some tuners or more Flight Sim this weekend. Maybe one or the other, maybe both.
Yeah, I'll probably do some dogfights
Yeah.
in GTA, and then probably the next stream would be Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm going to land on this airport.
All right, go for it. She's going to try to land. Well, you know what? We're going to stick around long enough to see if she sticks the landing here. We'll see. I mean, at least in this plane, you have a better chance of landing than in the Typhoon, because if you go and watch her first Flight Sim stream, you had a difficult time doing it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so before we wrap up, what else is happening in August? It's going to be hot, humid, miserable. Oh, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima.
Director's cut.
Yes, the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima is coming August 20th. We're both planning on streaming it on our channel, so the Iki Island expansion will both be streaming. Currently, Riley is working her way through Act 2 because, she didn't. Her original copy of Ghost of Tsushima, the original save file, was lost on her PS4.
Yeah, I 100% platinum the game.
Rip.
And I couldn't transfer.
Yeah.
Yay.
And meanwhile, I'm New Game Plusing it on my version of Ghost of Tsushima, off stream, of course. And I'm also in Act 2, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to the conclusion of Ghost of Tsushima through New Game Plus, but I do have my other, I have 2 save files, from my second playthrough of Ghost of Tsushima. I may use that for Iki Island. Maybe, maybe not. Or if I manage to, between now and the 20th, beat Ghost of Tsushima New Game Plus, then I may use that for my Iki Island expansion stream. So that's pretty much what's coming up August. Anything else?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything else. I hate to say it, I'm just not as excited about Red Dead Online at the moment. GTA Online, it's all right. The new cars are pretty good. But if I'm being honest with myself, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with the channel going forward, the gaming channel. Riley's going to keep doing what she's doing. I will attempt to continue to make content on the gaming channel. I just don't know if I am really motivated to keep doing Red Dead Online at the moment. I want to believe that Red Dead Online is going to turn around, and the December update will be what turns the game around, but I've said that before.
Yeah, you definitely have. I think 2 updates ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've given that game so many freaking chances.
Not only you, it's everybody.
Yeah. It's like, when are you ready just to say throw in the towel? Well, I mentioned this already in previous Red Dead stream, but I'll say it again here. And I think I may even make a video about it maybe this week. We'll see. Or I'll just do it during the Newswire event week. By the way, I did put a funny meme up that I made from Office Space. regarding me missing newswires of Red Dead Online newswire videos.
Yeah.
Feel free and go look at that meme I made. I put it in the community tab of my channel, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, as well as the Instagram. Yeah. But yeah, I'm giving it one more chance. I'm giving you one more chance, Rockstar, when it comes to Red Dead Online. December, if that's another disappointment, if it's another bust when it comes to the update, bye-bye. I'm done.
Yeah, same here. Like, I literally just touched the update the first day. Didn't touch the game after that.
Yeah.
It's boring. It's really boring.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it. Like, I'm a casual Red Dead player.
Yeah.
I already have everything in the game. I just don't care. It's boring.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Capitality and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't care for Capitality, well, get out.
Yeah. I agree. It's just, I hate to say it, but it's just, I've played it for nearly 3 years now. Like so many other veteran players, and there's just nothing for us. We have plenty of gold, plenty of cash. We've done almost everything. We've maxed out all the roles, and it's long in the tooth, and it gets neglected.
Yeah. It definitely does get annoying. I'm not going to win this thing.
Come on, one more chance. You got one more chance. You can do it. You can do it!
Alright, if I don't make it, I'm landing it into water.
Okay, that's fine. Why not? Well, we could swim to shore. By the way, San Francisco International's back there.
Okay, let's go. We're going there.
All right, we'll go there.
Because this runway is too small.
Yeah. So I guess since I haven't done any content the past few days because of jury duty and not streaming on the final day of July, I guess you're getting an extra long vlog today. So hooray for all of you that decided to watch the vlog. I do appreciate all of you that do watch my monthly vlog series. There will be one, hopefully, by the end of August 2021. And regarding the future of the gaming channel, I honestly don't know, to be honest, at this point. I mean, I hope that Riley continues to make content and continues to stream over on her channel.
I quit.
Don't do that. But at the moment, I literally asked, like, a few days ago, what do my viewers and subscribers want in a poll? It seems like the majority want just content. They want, thoughts videos, ideas videos, especially rant videos.
Yeah, I want another random Mark II of your Red Dead Online Blood Money update.
Yeah, I already did a rant on that. Been there. Well, it was a review rant, basically.
Right.
But I have been thinking about something else I may do a rant video about. But I don't want to get to the point where people think I'm a Red Dead Online hater, because I'm not a Red Dead Online hater. I'm not a Rockstar hater. But I'm not afraid of putting out some critiques when I feel like, critiques are warranted and justified. But I want GTA Online to succeed. I want Red Dead Online to succeed.
GTA Online already succeeding.
True. I think that's the problem. It's succeeded, and it's become a victim of its own success. And from that, Rockstar's added a lot of really stupid stuff to GTA Online, like the broomstick and the orbital cannon, just to name a few things. Not to mention the shit peer-to-peer system that both games are still on, despite the fact that GTA 5, GTA Online, and to a lesser extent, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online have made tons of money for Take-Two and Rockstar. We still have peer-to-peer.
Yep.
Which is trash.
Pretty much.
Maybe we'll find out about the Milked Edition this month. What do you think?
Maybe. I really just hope we can get dedicated servers.
Yeah.
And when they say expand and enhance, I hopefully they mean like a shit ton. I mean, really a lot of just quality of life updates.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm expecting for the most. Just fixing the vehicles that are already in the game,
Mm-hmm.
like the mogul and the oppress. Stuff that is shit.
Yeah.
And stuff that is OP. I just want them to fix that. If you just fix the servers and literally just work on the vehicles you already have, then that's it. I would buy the game. If I just see like maybe the oppressor's like I don't know, like 50% slower with worse missiles, or the mogul is faster, or it has better damage on the machine guns or something, like I will buy it. I just want better balance in free mode.
Yeah. I would like to believe that that's going to happen. I press X to doubt once again.
I doubt it.
That X to doubt button's getting pressed a lot in this vlog.
Yeah, I just think it's just going to be a PS5 port, that's it.
Yeah, PS5, Xbox Series port.
Yeah, that's it.
But, I mean, if we dare to dream and we go by the name, enhanced, expanded. Enhanced, okay, it's on the most up-to-date Rage engine, right? Similar to Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online. Graphically, imagine what GTA Online would look like.
I think it's going to get delayed again, honestly.
I think it won't be, because I think Rockstar realizes a lot of people don't give a shit.
Yeah, but it's also at the same time they have not dropped a single trailer about it.
Well, they kind of did the same thing with like the Red Dead Redemption 2 PC. Remember, they waited till like a month or two out before they dropped the trailer.
True.
So I think that now that they got Blood Money out of the way and Tuners out of the way, except for the Dripocalypse summer 2021 for GTA Online, which is happening, and the cars coming look really, really good. So that's nice. Definitely a better selection of vehicles and tuners than we got in Cayo Perico, especially the Scam Truck.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Red hated the Scam Truck. By the way, happy birthday weekend to Red. He's recovering from a hangover today. He texted me like, "Hey, I wish you were here. I'm hanging out with the homies drinking." And I'm like, have fun.
Wow.
But yeah, my idea is like enhanced, expanded. The expanded part, I would love for them to add North Yankton. I would love for them to add Liberty City. Maybe even throw in GTA 4 as well. Say, hey, while we're at it, not only are you going to get an enhanced version of GTA 5 story and GTA Online with Southern San Andreas, but you know what? Expanded edition, you also get North Yankton to go to. You're also going to get to go play GTA 4 updated.
I wish.
We can go bowling with our cousin.
Or we can go bowling in real life one day, right?
We are. Like, jury duty's over, so we can go bowling.
Hell yeah. Like
sure.
Right now?
Not right now. But soon we'll go bowling again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. I give you my word. I will take Riley bowling in the near future.
Thank you.
Okay. But anyways, I'd appreciate all of you watching today's vlog. We went over a lot of stuff today in the July 2021 vlog. Hard to believe July is almost over. It's hot, humid, and miserable here in the south. We still got a month left of this bullshit. And maybe like a half month in September. Then maybe about that point, then it starts to get cooler again. So the fall cannot get here soon enough in the south. But if you want to check out more of my vlogs, go to the vlogs playlist, monthly vlog series where once a month Riley and me post a new vlog. And who knows, we had fun flying around in Flight Simulator. Do y'all want us to fly around in Flight Simulator or drive around in GTA Online? For those of you that stayed here till the end, let us know in the comment section. And I hope you all had a great July 2021. Let me know some interesting, fun stuff that happened to you in July 2021. And here's hoping that we're back again a month from now for the August 2021 vlog.